Hello, friends. How are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your lives. Welcome to another book review podcast by Team ThinkerViews. Do you love reading thrillers? We do. And that is why we keep looking for interesting thrillers. Mainak Dhar is among the authors whose thrillers we find interesting. Some of his books that we got a chance to read and share our reviews are Sniper's Eye, Sniper's Dead, Sniper's Quest, In Enemy Hands, a novella, Alice in Deadland Trilogy, Book 1. I will share quick links to our book review articles for all of them in the description below. Fortunately, we also got a chance to have a small author interview with him. I will share a quick link to that interview as well. So, when we come to know about his Unit 22 thriller book series, we were curious to explore it. Fortunately, the first book in the series, The First Assassin, was available as a part of Amazon's Kindle Unlimited program, as well as at a very attractive price to purchase also. So, how can we miss the chance? From our team, I got a chance to read this book, and here are my uninfluenced and unbiased views and reviews for the same. Being a gateway to the virtual world explored within, the cover page is responsible for making the first impression of the book it is associated with. We, human beings, are attracted towards beauty by nature, and thus, despite believing in the fact that a book should not be judged by its cover, we also acknowledge the influence of the cover page in many purchase or read decisions. So let us take a look at the cover page of First Assassin. As you can see in the podcast cover, the word first is seen through a sniper's marker. This gesture sets the environment right. The background displays a remarkable building, and the protagonist running towards it represents the quest of finding the culprit and sabotage the terror plan. The golden spots adds to the impact. Definitely an attractive cover page that will make you pick the book. Now let us take a bird's eye view of the book plot. Major Aditya Sen, a former para-commando who served special forces and conducted missions which officially were never happened. In one such operation, he lost his buddies and he was barely survived. Though, with the treatment he got back his physical form, but his mental state is not yet what it used to be. War leaves the scars, both physical and mental. The loss of your blood brothers, and especially when you are in charge of the team and thus responsible for the safety of its members, keep a toll on your soul. Those memories will keep haunting you. Though he is getting psychiatric treatment and there is a lot of improvement, he is not yet fully recovered and probably will never be. He is currently assigned a desk job and tries to keep his temper in control. But by nature, he is a soldier. And he don't hesitate calling a spade, no matter if he is talking to his subordinate superiors or politicians. The US President is due to visit India in near future. So there is a team including Amy Khan, Donzel Bethune and others is arrived in India to make sure the President's visit will be safe and secure. While the security analysis is going on, based on a tip and lead received, IB and RNAW or RAW found that there could be a potential threat to the life of the US President. While following one such trail, Aditya barely saved his life, but his informant, who could lead to the potential details about any such plan, lost his life among a shootout. Eventually, the Indian Special Forces form a team to follow the things up, and it should work closely with the US team. And they should share important intel with each other. Aditya was offered to lead it, and eventually Unit 22 has been reformed. On a personal front, Aditya's mother was caught by cancer again after 7 years, and there is an experimental drug that could have been tested on her on priority basis. If Aditya joins the force, he happily accepts the offer. His mother, a wife of a soldier, a mother of a soldier, is a fighter in herself. She keeps motivating Aditya for the mission and their future together. Is there really a conspiracy going on to kill the US president? Or the team is simply overestimating the things? What is the real conspiracy? Will Aditya survive? Will he lose more buddies, relatives, and others during this mission? Well, you need to read the book to get the answers. Over the course, you will meet with Manoj Kumar Pandey, the Minister of State for Home Affairs, Sin De Silva, Salil Murthy, Srini Iyer, Dr. Mukta Adab, Gurung Thapa, Mullah Azam, Amy Khan, Donzel Bethiun, Ajay Pillai, Bin Azam, Ankit Sharma, Surinder Reina, Munaf Khan, Mahesh Shukla, Bharati, Vihan, Unni, Kishore, Bahadur, Pratap, Ryan Jameson, Arif Soleimani, DCP Niladri Banerjee, Major General Rathore, Charles Walker, and others. Of course, some of them have mere mentions and some of them have a very small role to play, while others are available throughout the story. The pace of the book and the layered characters are the strongest attributes of the book. Of course, it will all work only if the story is captivating. In those aspects, First Assassin proves to be a worthy choice. The author doesn't take much time to introduce you to the primary characteristics of prominent characters. The meeting with a minister and Aditya's behavior there says a lot about the imperfect political structure and how it can be at loggerheads with two patriots. At the same time, it also elaborates how the intermediate bosses works as lubricants between these frictional particles so the entire machine runs smoothly. The commandos, who actually put their life at risk in dangerous missions, are straightforward by nature. And even if they don't agree with some political decisions, they go in sync with the disciplinary measures of their respective agencies. Remaining in tense situations, almost always, they develop dark humor and satirical mindset that offer them relief. Quoting one such line from the book, here is some free career advice. When the man who could fire you says something that makes you angry, don't let him know you want to kill him. The toll that takes on such brave heart's soul is the loss of their buddies. I could live with that. I had learned to live with a lot worse. For example, I had learned to live with myself, more or less, other than the nights when I used to wake up dreaming about dead buddies, wanting nothing more than to put a gun in my mouth and end it all. In fact, the kukri, a knife-like weapon that Aditya is given as a souvenir that he uses as a life-saving resource, belonged to Thapa, one of the buddies who was captured and brutally killed by the enemies. It is possibly one of the closest to heart possession of Aditya. They are not called buddies just for the sake of it. They remain there with and within each other, even when they don't exist physically anymore. The author uses some unconventional words to elaborate day-to-day scenario that goes in sync with the persona of the respective character. For example, he rifled through the file in front of him. See how interesting the line became when the phrase rifle through is used instead of going through or reading or similar lines. Here is another interesting example. If looks could kill, Sin De Silva was blowing holes in me with an RPG launcher. Also, planning an operation or passing an order or judging situation from within the safe, secure and comfortable office premises is quite different than working actually on ground. Sometimes you need to take spot decisions which could have been debated later, but in that moment of judgment, that is the only way you can act. This significant fact is elaborated in the book at multiple places. For example, when Aditya had to just oversee a meeting between an informant and possible culprits, and the things changed on ground forces him to act. The author says, of course through a character, when a man in the line of work I had been in gets told off by his bosses, he takes it standing up like a man, not on his ass on a soft chair like a bureaucrat. The author further elaborates, that is the skill of people like him, a skill you and I will never learn. Take the credit where you can, but never take the hard decisions. Get others to do so. If the decisions work out well, you can take the credit for nudging others to look into it. If they don't work out well, you can blame others who actually took the decision. And the protagonist keeps his mind open for ideas and even keep learning how to deal with the bureaucracy. Because whether you like it or not, you need to deal with the stuff. Maybe my stint in an office in Delhi had taught me something after all. How to push all the right buttons on a bureaucrat, call him sir to make him feel more important, and then make him worry about losing face in front of his bosses. Because he learned, one, where your enemy was often not the man shooting at you, but someone wearing a suit having coffee with you. If you know how to present your point effectively, often few words are enough. You don't need to write essays to prove your point. Here are some simple yet effective lines from the book. If you can't handle the heat, you shouldn't be in the kitchen. Irresistible force meets an immovable object. In war, it is the stupid who die first. Sometimes you feel most empowered when you accept that you can't change everything. You might not have expected, but the book has some lines exploring psychological analysis of human behavior. Remember the story of the genie in the lamp? Well, think of your body as a lamp or perhaps a bottle. When you lose control of yourself, when it comes out in not a helpful genie, but a terrible Rakshas. Anger was like a flame that burned out of control, burning everything in its path, burning you. Rage was something you could hope to control and direct against the target you wanted to turn to ashes. Being a man who was trained to inflict violence on others did not make one a man who enjoyed it. The beauty of parent-child relationship is explored quite nicely, and I consider it a strong positive point of the book. Here are some lines in the same regards. You are a soldier's mother and a soldier's wife. You made me brave all the times I wanted to give up, all the times I was scared. Now you can't give up on yourself. Ma, it's okay. It's not okay if you are not okay. That is how mothers are, I guess, or how mine is. She was lying on a hospital bed, going through experimental medication for cancer, and had nearly been kidnapped and killed in the last couple of days. Yet, her biggest concern was whether I was feeling okay. Of course, there are war and strategy related discussions in the book. My natural inclination was to go in hard and fast, but my officers had taught me that sometimes the best way to prepare for a strike was to launch a diversionary attack elsewhere. You are a true soldier in the sense that you are focused on the mission, winning the here and now. You think like a soldier, not a spy. They aren't out for revenge. They want leverage over you. As much as the government hated to admit, it needed men like me. Political rallies or summits in air-conditioned rooms. Some problems needed to be solved by a well-paced bullet or a cutthroat. The book talks about army, terrorism, wars at various fronts, and other such stuff. And at the same time, the author conveys, some of us are lucky enough to have those who love us enough to heal those scars and prevents us from succumbing to those demons. Others are not. I had also learned that revenge didn't heal scars, love did. If more people saw and smelled that, I suspect our leaders would be less trigger happy about starting wars they did not have to fight and die in. And yes, the author talks about various areas of science, physics, chemistry, biology, etc., like the tibia, or in common parlance, the shin bone, is an interesting bone. It looks unassuming, 30 to 40 centimeters long, between 1 and 2 millimeters wide, but the tibias carry almost 80% of the body's weight. And then, after such elaboration, he says something like, "See, simple soldiers like me know some fancy biology too." I like these lines, and they are found in the second installment of the series as well. And yes, the author mentions a famous bookshop in Delhi. Doesn't matter where I am. Let's meet at Barison's bookshop in Khan Market. There are some lines which could have been written better. For example, why was someone like him in Delhi for the investigation? Like many Indian authors, Mainak also uses words like anyways in the book, and by now I guess it is standard, and so the dictionaries needed to include it. The quotes must have given you a fair idea about the quality of writing in this book, and now you can conclude the book with its share of highs and lows matches your reading preferences or not. In summary, I found it a fantastic thriller that remains true to its genre. A book definitely worth reading. ThinkerViews rating would be around 8 stars out of 10.
So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button and do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.